update. He writes in the book very eloquently about how to construct these structures of exclusion in such a way that it's difficult, even for the excluded, to deconstruct them. See, here's the way the South African system is built. On the one end, you have the leafy suburbs, and on the other, you have the townships. Next to the suburbs, you have the CBD, the Central Business District. Next to every single township, you have an industrial area. There's only one township in South Africa, in fact two, that break this construct. The first is Alex. That's because the rate at which Alex grew meant that the township grew into the industrial area. And the second is Diepsloot. And the only reason that is because Diepsloot was basically started after 1994. But every single township in South Africa that existed pre-94 exists right next to an industrial area. Why do you think that is? Because the structure of exclusion said this. Take the black African person and put them in the township. Give them a level of education that is subpar. That meant the only jobs open to them would be factory jobs in the industrial areas. What that meant is you could pay them less than decent wages. If you lower the costs of production, you make the South African economy competitive, which meant it could supply goods into the CBD and sell those goods from the CBD into the leafy suburbs. That's the way the system was built. That's the structure. So when you drive into every township in South Africa today and you see each and every single one of those factories on your way in, that's not there by natural market design. It's built that way. But if this is the case, and my argument is that it is, then as young people today, how do we rethink, reframe, and restart the context of yours and my country? How do we rethink, reframe, and restart the opportunities for each and every single one of us? In the same book, Verwoerd says, make the roads in the townships narrow, make the houses low. But here was perhaps the most insightful part of what he wrote in that book. He says, make sure there are no billboards in townships. Why? Because billboards force people to look up. And if you look up, you might just raise your horizons. You might begin to think, to dream, to reimagine. So you and I were supposed to grow up in an environment that was cluttered, clustered, and uninhabitable. We were supposed to be given an education that made us second-grade citizens. We were supposed to work in the factories so that we couldn't imagine being in the services economy or the professional economy. That's what we were destined for. But that was built. That's how